Benjamin, I appreciate you coming here today.
Yeah.
And spending a little bit of time with me. We're on the San Juan Social Club cruise on the Virgin Valiant Lady, right?
Valiant Lady.
The Valiant Lady. Richard Branson owns this company. And a few days ago, were you outside?
I saw it. He's in his boat.
We're just literally, we're sailing along, and all of a sudden the horns are going off. You look down, and there's this guy just waving, and you're like, just a dude, you know?
Yep, of course, yeah.
And he's the owner of the boat. Well, the boat and the ship and the island.
Imagine his feelings. Like, oh, look at my boat.
I know.
It's really cool.
I bet it doesn't get old.
No, because it's from that creation energy. Like, he's created something awesome. And he deserves to paddle out and wave at boats if he wants to. I love that. I love that.
Isn't that an incredible feeling? Like, I I designed on a piece of paper a house that I wanted to build. A 10-bedroom, 10-bath house. And it had never been done in the area that I'm in. It's for student rental beside the University of Windsor. Drew it on a piece of paper, threw it on a little software program I found online, got all my measurements as best as I could, gave them to some lady to put them into blueprints, had them approved by the city, and then it was built. And the experience of the first night sleeping in that place, I can't describe it. You know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly what you mean. Yes, except 10-bedroom was different. I did a ranch, and the first night I sat there. We redid everything, floors, tile, everything. Like loads of work. Her parents, like my wife's parents flew in, helped us.
Yeah.
And the first night, the feeling, we laid in our bed.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome. And then I heard and my wife thought a stick was on her face, but it was a scorpion. So the house was clean and nice. Welcome home, baby. And we had a scorpion on her face, and it made her lips numb.
Really?
Yeah, so I do know the feeling. It's just a different one.
She knew the non-feeling.
No, she actually loves that house. It's still amazing. It's a great thing. Yeah.
It was so nice. The scorpion wanted to live there.
I think he still lives there. And him and 10.
And this is in Texas.
But if you are possibly looking at renting my ranch, there's definitely no scorpions there.
No, in the ad, anyway.
Yeah, right. Anyways.
How big is this ranch?
We got it's 5-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah.
And you could count 6, but it's like we got a little extra suite. We got a little mother-in-law suite.
In Waco?
We got a little under 10 acres.
Yeah.
It's right on by Interstate 35. You got the white pipe fences. It's got the circle driveway, and it's got the so we used to mine Bitcoin out of the barn.
Yeah.
And just.
Were you successful mining Bitcoin?
I was successful mining Bitcoin, but I was successful finding Bitcoin. I mean, if you find Bitcoin.
Wait a minute. What year did you discover Bitcoin?
2012 was $12 a coin.
Yeah.
I was trying to mine it from my computer.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is too confusing.
Why didn't you just buy it?
Well, I think it's stupid to buy it. I mean, I have a weird opinion. Most people don't. But I think if I have the ability to create, why would I buy? I've got to be right twice. I've got to pick when to buy and when to sell.
Right.
I want to create and sell when I want. And which Bitcoin's never. But yeah, so it's a different world, different way to look at things. But I was trying to create in 12. It was $12, and I got too confused, and I was like, "This is stupid. This is never going to work." Closed the computer and didn't do it. And in 2016 or 15, 15, I got reintroduced to it, and it was $264 a coin. And I'm like, I miss Bitcoin. I could have been mining this whole time. I'm an idiot. And then I was like, I'll buy a stupid Bitcoin. It was from a buddy of mine who became a billionaire.
Right.
And I was like, I'll buy it if you just leave me alone about it. And I buy, and then I started mining. Then we started getting more miners and more miners, and we did a co-location, and I got heavy into mining. I love it.
Did you, at one time, what was the most amount of Bitcoin you owned?
Depends who's asking, but I lost all my Bitcoin in a boating accident with my guns.
You lost your Bitcoin in a boating accident with my guns.
Of course.
Now, that's only a story you're going to hear in Texas. I'm sorry. Now I have to ask, how did you lose your Bitcoin and your guns and your boat?
It was a tough one. It was a tough one. They're all gone, and they're definitely not with me still.
I see.
It's okay. That one went.
Yeah.
But is totally factual if anyone's wondering.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
But asking about someone's
somebody
Bitcoin.
like yourself that would have been mining back then, was it easy to mine?
Well, it's not easy. Is not the right word, but it was because it was like you don't know exactly what you're part of yet. Being early is a lot like being wrong. In most things, being early is a lot like being wrong.
When I was first told about Bitcoin, I'm like, what? This sounds like the latest scam that has just hit? It's like from some Nigerian prince.
It depends on what door you walk in to that conversation.
Well,
if you walk in because your college buddy's saying, I heard about this Bitcoin thing. Oh yeah, you should buy it and get rich. That's the wrong door. The door I walked in was, who gave the federal government permission to monopolize money?
That's a good question, actually. Well, they did. And they say the people did. And then the world economy did. And actually, in the Brentwood Agreement back in 1947, put the entire world on the US dollar.
Did you agree with that?
It wasn't a matter of agreement. Right. It was a matter of acceptance.
Yeah, but freedom, the basis of it needs to be agreement. And
really?
I'm a freedom advocate. I mean, if there's one thing I'm more excited about.
That's not the. Why do you think that agreement has to be part of freedom? There are a lot of things that you do, a lot of people don't agree with. There's a lot of things that you believe, a lot of people don't agree with. But you're free to believe them.
Free to believe them. That's right, and that's where the basis of it is. The free to believe. You don't have you don't have the right to push your beliefs on other people.
I have the freedom to agree or disagree.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying freedom is the base of both.
Okay.
If you take it to the root, freedom matters. And it's because, and here's why. We stole freedom.
Who did?
Humans, in my opinion, as a believer, we stole freedom in the Garden of Eden. And when you steal something, you stole the ability to know the good and evil. So what is something in life that you can own? You can't own anything else. Everything we have, we're stewards. We're not owners of anything except what we stole.
Are you Southern Baptist or
not? Southern Baptist. I'm
Pentecostal.
I was raised learning about Christ and God, but then I went away from God and studied Confucianism and Taoism. And
no, you never went away from God. You went away from Jesus, but you still studied God in Confucianism and Buddhism.
Yes, in Islam, and you know, it's funny. I went. I don't agree, but I think that, and that's an easy thing to say. But
no, humans can see the entity that is. So let's agree on the definition first.
Okay.
God is an essence that unifies, connects, and is created in all things. Present in
I can
all
agree with.
Things
yes.
in there. So whether I call God Allah or Yahweh or Jesus or Buddha's connection to or Confucius understanding of or source or energy or universe, we're all talking about the same thing.
We might be talking about the same thing. But I think that in this existence, if you're lucky enough to be conscious of trying to unify back with God in a proper manner, I think the bridge is Jesus. And it comes through a lot of, studying theology. Sure. And I don't mean some. I've dedicated the greater part of my life, more than Bitcoin, more than almost anything in life, to my faith. And that has nothing to do with trying to beat people over the head. It's actually understanding it. And I would say any of your viewers watching this video, they said, oh, that was contentious. Not really. Not really. People are afraid to talk about religion, but they go home and watch Tiger King for 10 hours. Like if people are watching this, I know, but if they're watching,
stupid actually,
a little bit. But if they're watching,
go to jail or kill somebody,
but if you're watching TV all day and you're watching Netflix and you're watching The Office and you don't look at your soul, shame on you for being dumb. And that's not pushing religion. That's saying eternity matters. Got me pumped up. I love because I believe that we're helping people. I think we need to, with love, go help people because you care about them, really.
Right. And to be able to help the most amount of people means accepting that they may not see Jesus as the path to God, but they can see that you see it.
Absolutely,
and they respect that.
Agree. And I think that if you pursue,
Coptic.
Coptic.
So the Coptic religion is actually the first Christian religion.
I've heard that.
Mark left after Christ's crucifixion, went to Egypt within a few years, and started the Coptic Church. Saint Mark. Well, we call him Saint Mark now, but it was Mark. And I don't know how much you know about how Christianity developed and what Catholicism took over.
Council of Nicaea and a little bit.
But that was 300 years later.
Yes, it was.
And do you know that the reason that Constantine actually even started that whole thing is because his mother Helen came to Egypt and studied the Coptic Church.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I'll have that conversation with you another time.
I think that'll be a fun one. I'm passionate about that one too.
Well, you know what? When I started to understand how the New Testament was put together, and when you look at how the scholars have studied it, and now there's a lot of agreement that, like for example, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John,
the Gospels,
who wrote them.
Right.
So a lot of people believe they were the disciples, but other scholars believe that they were written by people who never met Jesus. And then when you look at the gospel, because they were written up to 170 years later. But then when you look at the Gnostic Bible, which I assume you've heard of, so most of these books, the canons that were discussed at the Creed of Nicaea, many of them were tossed out because they didn't fit the narrative of the Catholic Church, which the emperor wanted to create. Which he was the first pope, right?
Which you could look at as these people genuinely wanted to find the absolute truth, not trying to guide a narrative.
Or they wanted to create a business.
It's very possible.
Right.
Or, and I would ask anyone who thinks that, I would ask they also say, or there was a divine moment in history.
Yeah, but Constantine wasn't a Christian.
That's okay.
Right.
God used Paul and used to murder Christians and kill them, and God used a fish with a coin in his mouth, and God used a donkey. So I mean, like, God can use Donald Trump, he can use all these people.
Okay, no, I see your perspective on that.
Yeah.
But like, his intention wasn't really about religion or about a connection with God. His intention was to control the radical people that for 300 years Rome could not control.
And you know what? And I'm so honored that God used him in such a great way to go and create a loving, wonderful religion that helps save the world and help people in a way.
No,
so I love that God used the guy. It's amazing. And even if if he had concubines and if he murdered people in his sleep, it's like, it makes me happy that this man did something great for the kingdom.
Well, that's interesting. By the way, Thomas, the book of Thomas, that wasn't part of the narrative, was the only book written in the language that Jesus spoke, Aramaic.
Aramaic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I used to be able to say the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. It's a beautiful language.
It's a very interesting.
Don't ask me to do it now because it's like.
I used to say it in Coptic. I used to know Coptic when I was young.
That'd be something we could get together. I'd like to learn because I love language. So yeah.
Well, language. You know what? People who only speak one language, and I don't mean to offend, honestly.
Sure.
But I have learned that people who speak multiple languages have a broader mind and are more accepting of other people.
Of course.
The people that speak one language, oftentimes they're narrow-minded. And they're unwilling to accept other points of view. And unfortunately, when I've gone through the States and I see, like, for example, I'll go to Miami and, people get angry and frustrated that people, are speaking to them in Spanish and you're in America, you need to speak English or American. Actually, you actually use the word, you need to speak American.
Sure, silly.
Unfortunately, that is. But we're getting off topic. I mean, you are truly going to be an interesting person to talk multiple times to.
That's good.
I'm learning more about where.
Well, maybe the audience will be like, God, I want to go on that podcast. Yeah. If I haven't pissed them all off because I was like, Jesus is king. But it's okay.
No, it's good.
I think if you keep going through truth, eventually you find it.
It's good that we understand the context of your life.
Sure.
You're married, you've got 3 children.
I do. Yeah.
Everybody is healthy and successful.
They are healthy and they are being trained to be successful.
How old are they?
9, 8, and 4.
So is the 4-year-old a successful 4-year-old?
She's a very successful 4-year-old.
Is the 9-year-old a successful 9-year-old?
The 9-year-old is a very successful 9-year-old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you and your wife, I'm assuming you're quite proud of her and how.
Oh my God, they're
she's
amazing.
doing.
My kids are the most amazing kids in the whole world. They're incredible.
And you've obviously got a great mother and you got a great wife.
Oh, she's hot and smart. She spoke 6 languages, and I was like, I got to get this chick pregnant. It's fat, like immediately. I have to. Like I met her, and I'm like, this girl's hot, and I didn't know if she was athletic or not because that was my one checkbox. I had to wait like 7 minutes.
That's interesting how, what you told me about how you met this woman, and I met her. You're absolutely right. She's an incredible woman.
That website just barely worked. HotSubmissiveFinishedWomen.com. It was like, I was clicking and it just.
Well, the fact is you were only there by serendipity. It was completely random. You were a football player who ended up playing in Europe.
Well, I'll tell you, it's gonna go along with our topic.
Yeah, I know it will, but I think what's really interesting is that there was a disappointment in your life that you didn't get to the NFL.
No, heck no.
No, but hang on.
No.
As a young football player from Texas.
Yes, sir.
The dream is to make it to the big show.
Maybe other people's dreams. I mean that genuinely.
But no, you wanted to play professional football.
Yes.
So you couldn't play in the States, so you decided to go play in Europe.
Nope. I love you, but no.
Explain.
Okay, I will. 9 years old, church revival.
Yeah.
God absolutely tells me I'm going to be a professional running back.
Okay.
I don't know what that means because I'm young. I'm 9. I'm stupid.
Got it.
I don't know. My mom wrote it down.
But you played through high school.
I got to high school.
Yeah.
They never let me run the football at all. One time in high school ever. I sat on the bench, and then a nose guard got hurt, and the coach was there, a different coach, and he said, I don't care who you are. Somebody get in there and play nose guard. I said, well, I'm somebody, and I'm tired of sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I said, opportunity, strike, let's go. So I said, I'm somebody. 3 sacks in a row.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Coach looks at me and says, you're the new nose guard.
Okay.
So now, guess what? Oh, nose guard. Fast forward to my senior year,
Yeah.
137 tackles.
Yeah.
Literally, there's like 9 sacks, first team All-State in Texas.
Yeah.
I've screwed myself
Why?
because I'm 190 pounds. I'm not fat anymore, but I'm not big enough to play nose guard. So guess how many colleges offered me scholarships?
None.
Very few. They were
Yeah.
small ones. SAGU, Southwestern Assembly of God. I talked to...
Okay, but just a minute.
It's a-
When you were in high school. Sorry,
No,
you're finishing high school.
Yep.
You're doing well. People know you as the football player.
They do.
Your identity is around football.
It is.
You're obviously getting the chicks, at that point.
I'm for sure getting the chicks. Yeah.
Right. So now you're going, okay, well, the next step is college, right?
Yep.
And
And
so
I'm really mad because like nobody's sending me.
Hang
Nobody's
on,
sending
that's
me
the
stuff.
point. That's the point.
Okay.
So had you been successful
Mhm.
in getting into college,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have gone to Europe.
I did get into college. You miss it. You're missing it. I
No.
went to college.
Well, hang on. Somewhere along the way, your plan
Yeah.
to be a professional or a football player in the United
Yeah.
States got derailed.
That would be true if it was my plan. It was God's plan. It wasn't mine.
Stop with the.
I'm serious, and I'm not trying to be contentious.
No, I need you. I need you
I
to
got
follow my logic here.
Okay,
for a
I
minute,
will. I
okay?
will.
So instead of trying to make up what I want to say, I want you to follow with me because this is important for people to understand.
Sure.
How when things go bad,
Yep.
how things go wrong, and when that door gets slammed in your face.
No doubt.
You had suddenly the greatest opportunity of your life.
I did.
Because had you been a better player, had you been bigger, you are a Texas football star.
I was. Yes.
So
Yes.
you made it onto the college, roster, but something wasn't good enough
Mm-hmm.
to get you an offer further or to play you enough to make you stronger as a potential draftee. Am I right?
No.
How
I
is
love
that
you.
wrong?
I love you, but
How
I'm
is that
telling you,
wrong?
you're not.
How is that wrong?
Well, it's amazing because it wasn't my plan. What happened?
Okay,
is,
I need you to stop with the other plan. I need you to just stick with me for a minute.
yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
the other plan, of course, is what you believe to be how it happened. But what I'm trying to teach the people who are listening
Got it. Got it.
is that the path you are on should have led you
Yeah.
to college greatness and
Yeah.
possibly NFL offers.
Yeah.
That was the path that every single little football player dreams
Yes.
of in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And now there you are.
Mhm.
And whether it was God's plan or whether you just sucked
right.
or people didn't like you, something derailed this path.
Right.
And you took a different path.
I did.
But you had no idea where that path would take you.
Mm-hmm.
That opportunity existed because of all those two-a-days that you did.
It's true. Yeah.
That opportunity existed for you because you happened to be quite good at what you were doing, but not good enough to be NFL.
Well, maybe. I mean, like there's a path that there's very key distinction
Right.
how it all happened. That's the key.
See, you want to interpret what happened and make meaning out of it as God's plan. I recognize that.
Maybe.
But I'm not saying why it happened.
But my North Star
Let's
wasn't.
just
It was
talk
never NFL.
But hang on. Let's just talk about what did happen versus why it happened.
Yes.
Okay, because this is the path people are on right now.
Yes.
And they're finding themselves blocked. They're finding themselves disappointed that they didn't achieve what their dream was.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay? You were on that path, and at some point, the normal path that a Texas football player takes
Right.
is supposed to end with the greatness of the league. And now, are you saying, we know factually that you wanted to play football. You wanted to continue playing football.
So it's weird. My mom had it wrote on the pew card, but I used to be like, that's silly.
Okay, no, I get it. We're getting away from the why. I need to just focus on what actually occurred.
Okay,
Because
okay,
that's
yeah.
what people can relate to.
Yeah, and I'll tell you exactly what occurred.
If people who are Christian will
Okay.
understand what you're saying
No,
differently.
people that are not Christian, I promise would understand it.
But the fact is that the plan that you kind of thought was going to be heading, your path,
Yeah.
got somehow derailed, and you had to change gears.
Yes.
And instead of and you may have felt disappointment at one point. You might have felt like, okay, well, that's, not so good, but I'll accept it because it's God's plan. That might have been your way of dealing with
But
it.
I was a heathen at the time. I didn't care about
Okay,
God's
so it wasn't
I didn't care about God's plan.
So I'm trying to follow.
I was having sex with as many girls as I could. I was trying to think not about God at that time.
But at the time, you wanted to play football.
Yeah, because a coach told me, he said, Jones, you'll never play running back. And I looked at him and said, who the hell do you think you are, thinking you can say what I can do?
So this
and I was like,
your pursuit of happiness moment.
No, it was my moment of
Do you understand what I mean by
I understand, but I'm like, don't
when
tell me
the
what.
father tells the boy, you know, you're not going to be a basketball player. And then he looked at him and said, don't ever let anybody tell you that.
Oh yeah, but
And
this.
you turned around and said, don't ever tell me what I can't do.
I did, and I made it a habit in my life of I love people, I'm respectful to people, but
no one can tell you what your limits are.
that's right, not my limits, and I don't accept those limits because I don't know what those limits are myself, so I would never accept a third party.
You're always in the query.
So it's like when a coach told me that, and he said, this will be one of your last football games ever to play. Right. You're not going to go to college.
So you said, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
And then I'm going to do it anyway.
I did, and it's funny. My college I went to.
Yeah.
Most people, I didn't even go to the website of the college.
Okay.
I knew nothing about the college.
But you went to college.
You
played football.
A guy called me and he says, "Hey, it was in the Eric Strong. I'm sorry, Brandon Strong and Eric Slavosky, and I liked him." Right. I said, "You know what? I'll come play." Trinity Bible College, Elladale, North Dakota.
And this was a Bible college playing football.
Yep. And you know what? I never looked at it.
Found your faith again.
No, I was sleeping with a cheerleader. I was still sleeping. I was still a bad dude. I just wanted to play football.
Drunk?
No, heck no. Never drank, smoked, did drugs at all. Nothing.
Okay.
Zilch.
Clean body.
Clean. I just my addiction was the worst one because it's deep and internal. But I get to the college and they show me around for 10 minutes. I said, well, where's the rest of the college?
Yeah, where's the chicks?
Because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's against the college rules to hold hands. Where I went. Crazy.
Right.
So
Catholic?
I'm looking around. No, Assembly of God, AG. So I'm looking around. I'm like, where's the rest? And he goes, that's it.
Yeah.
I found out the day I attended there was 280 students in the whole college.
And how many of them were girls?
Probably most. We had like a 30-something roster team.
Okay.
So I go, oh, crap. So I didn't know what was going to go on. First game. Mm-hmm. That literally, I think that I'm a true freshman.
Yeah.
Our first string running back gets hurt. Our second string running back gets hurt. Our third string running back has an attitude. I'm there not to play running back because I've never ran the football.
Right.
In my heart, I kind of knew because what my mom said a long time ago. But I kind of
now, hey, you on the bench.
No, he says, Jones, you play running back? Because I was one of the fast guys on the team. I said, of course.
Yep.
My first full game played 137 yards, 3 touchdowns, all conference that year, all conference the next year.
Right.
My coach brings me in his office the next year and says, Jones, let me talk to you about something. I just got caught making out with a girl in the car.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm kind of coming back to my faith because I'm trying to
Did he ask
figure
if you had a condom?
No, I wasn't having sex with a girl, especially if Trinity looks back. No, it was just, we were making out.
You're how old at this point?
I got caught, I don't know, 19, 18. Okay. And my coach sits me down and says, Jones, sit down. He said, this is going to sound crazy.
Yeah.
He said, I just got back from a trip from Finland. And I'm thinking, what's Finland? I don't know what that is. I'm an American, and I speak American.
Sure.
That's kind of where I was
speak
at the time.
American?
That's where I was at the time.
Yeah.
He says, this is going to sound crazy, but I just got offered a professional football contract to coach in Finland.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be the guy.
So he put it as in God told him that you're supposed to be the guy.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
No. I'm hearing this. Had this conversation not occurred, how far do you think you could have gotten in American football?
Probably arena football.
So there wasn't NFL in your future.
Well, years later, I ended up doing stuff with the Houston Texans and camps and all that.
But at that time,
at that time,
you were aware of your limitations.
I've always had the swagger where I could go play on an NFL roster if I needed to. You know what I mean? I always a special team.
And there's guys
slot receiver.
basically saying, "Come on, let me show you why you can't."
And I guarantee you, I can hit stick some of those guys. It's like I've never in any league of anything I've ever done not succeeded. But it wasn't my big focus. It wasn't like my mom said I was gonna be a professional running back and that's what I'm gonna do. That really isn't the context. The context is I want to play football because this asshole said I couldn't.
Dude,
and then God was like, no, you're gonna do what I told you. And I'm like,
but if you were truly a lot better, there would have been more colleges calling you.
But no, because I was 185 pounds soaking wet in college.
So you were too small.
I was too small. 6'2", 180.
So if you were a little bit bigger, more colleges would have called you.
If I was just playing running back in high school, I probably could have ended up on the roster.
But you follow the logic. There were things that kept you from doing.
No doubt.
So,
the thousand things. You want to hear a 100,000 list of things?
That's the point we're getting to.
Okay, and that's an important point.
That's exactly what people are facing right now.
Yeah.
There's 100 reasons why they can't do what they want to do. Hang on.
Yeah.
Or what they believe they should do. But what they don't realize is that there are other doors out there that they're going to excel at if they just open their minds and are more of a yes to the conversation. So you were a yes to this conversation. I mean, the guy says, go to Finland. I mean, where the fuck is Finland?
I didn't know.
Did you have to look in the map? Did you have to honestly look at the map to see where it was?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, like, I barely left Texas in my life.
Did you wonder if they even spoke English?
I knew they didn't speak English. I knew, because I had a guy from I knew a guy from my college, and he was the weirdest guy in the college, and I thought he was from Finland. And I was like, oh man. You know,
Finland is not one of the countries people think of when you think of countries of Europe.
They're like village people. Like if you want to say volcano, it's Fire Mountain, and 1,000 legs is, and it's the shield thief is turtle.
How connected are the Finnish people to the Vikings, for example?
They're like, I don't want to misspeak on this, but they're more the religious of the old gods. If you actually
Norse gods.
If you go way back in time, yes.
Odin.
And the Vikings were kind of like, don't get me misspeaking, Denmark, Norway, Sweden was kind of trade, blah, blah.
Sure.
So they were
Norwegian.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, but you asked about challenges. Of course, I had challenges. Every coach I ever said,
but at some point, were you a little disappointed because sometimes,
I was disappointed. I mean, I've always been ADD and wild, so like the work you have to do to be successful annoyed me. It's like I don't like going to the gym right now. Why? Because I had to go to the gym to go to the next level. I had purpose. Without that, I just like, ugh.
Well, I can tell you what's going to happen if you don't keep going to the gym. You're 38 now?
37.
37?
Yeah, I know.
10 more years, you know what's going to look, you're going to look like?
Yeah, what?
You think your beautiful wife's going to want to stick around a fat guy?
I know. For a fact, my girl would stick around because I'm hung as a horse. No, but yeah. No, I tell you this. My wife.
TMI.
I tell you this. If I'm a betting man, and I'm not saying this in a weird way, but I don't think there's a universe or galaxy that my wife and I don't die lovers. Like, I know my wife. My wife is, I've never met a human couple in my life that loves each other like me and my wife. That's my girl. Thing. That is my girl.
That's another
on this
podcast
planet
on its own.
That's my girl.
Honestly, because that is something a lot of people will never find in their lives, is that deep connection.
That sucks, yeah.
And the fact that you've actually got it, and that there's a lot of confidence when I meet the two of you. You're both beautiful people.
Thank you, sir.
And yet, neither one of you has shown any jealousy of either one of you talking to anybody.
Maybe in our entire 15 years, there might have been like a jealous ever. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm a natural flirt. I mean, and I don't mean flirt as like I'm attempting.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to screw up how non-jealous my wife is. Because in my past, I used to cheat on girls all the time because I was like a sex addict. I'm like, I'm a wild dude.
You were a dog, man. You were a football player in Texas.
Yes.
You were a dog.
One of my friends, they used to call it, I can't say this because I'm like, I like love Christ, but the word that my friend used to say was a pussy hound. And I was like, I gotta, that was my problem. Like even in the Bible growing up, I remember thinking like the Samson thing, like don't cut your hair. I'm like, oh no. And then don't marry foreign women, right? Don't drink alcohol. But now that that's put together later. I did never drink alcohol.
Foreign women.
That's right. It said Samson had a rule that the Ninevite vow was.
Wait a minute. You're talking Old Testament here.
I am. It's silly. So, it has nothing to do with how I actually believe.
Which book actually describes Samson being told by anybody, God or anybody?
I don't know. It's all
about
just Bible
foreign
stories.
women.
It's in the Bible story, I believe. I'm not.
You sure?
I am. I just don't get me quoting it right now.
Well, then don't be bringing up references unless you want to get called on it.
Well,
because young man, I will call you on it.
So I would say have the studio pull up, the book of Judges. I go to Judges, and I think everyone watching this should go fact check that. But it's okay. Yeah.
Well, no, I'll be on ChatGPT in 2 minutes after the show.
Yes, maybe my assistant could pull it up. And because it for sure referenced note for it. The whole thing was no alcohol, don't cut your hair, don't end up marrying a foreign woman. Stay in the house.
It's just strange that you'd bring up the term foreign woman in a biblical term, because that right there is basically saying that there is this and there's them.
But I'm not
us,
arguing morality at all. That was just
No,
it's a Bible story.
That's just an interesting, but again, another pile. That's four.
Yeah, that's right. The podcast, because that's based on deontology. That's based on the timing of the text was written and to whom.
So you ended up in Finland, and you're playing football, and you're half decent.
Well, yeah,
and then some chick shows up to the game, or what?
No. So I end up. The coach says, "Hey, I just got offered. You're supposed to go with me." And I go. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I walk outside. Tears are freezing to my face. I fall down in reverence to God, saying, "I didn't think in a million years from high school to playing nose guard, and then actually starting becoming one of the best in Texas. Chances, going from from that position and going to play the smallest college in America that had a football team to going ever to getting paid. There's millions of players that want to get paid. Don't get ever. I got to check every game I've ever played. Chances, Fast forward 6 years, Finland, Poland, Croatia, Spain, Brazil, got inducted in the TDEU Sports Hall of Fame. I became really good at football, and I love that sport. And I couldn't have, if you gave me a pen and paper and said, design the best life you could possibly have, I didn't have the creativity to do it.
Okay.
That's why people can argue God, I can't.
What year did you meet her?
Oh gosh, 2000 and let me see, that would have been 2010.
So what year did you go to Finland in the first place?
2009. It's
been a year later.
Yeah, I only went back to Finland because I was heartbroken and trying to go after this really beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
She rejected you?
Nope. No, that's a funny one. But blonde-haired, blue-eyed chick that I ended up breaking up with because I cheated on her. And
okay, you know how stupid you sound right now. I ended up breaking up with her because I cheated on her.
There are a lot of guys can cheat on girls and not get broken up with.
No, you said you broke
you
up
fact
with
check
her.
That too.
You said you broke up with her because you cheated on her.
Yeah, it ruined the relationship.
She didn't dump your ass for cheating on her?
No,
She was totally cool with it.
Nope.
She would accept it.
Because there's context, because it's not black and white.
Because you're hung as a horse.
No, well, no, but what happened is it ruins the relationship. We start getting jealous.
Think?
Of course, we get jealous.
No trust.
There's no trust. And then the relationship.
You said the relationship you have now is one of the most impactful and the most intense.
Yep.
And the root of it is trust.
That's right.
If you ever cheated on this woman, what would happen to this relationship?
Honestly, I think we would be fine.
And what if she cheated on you?
I would end it so fast it'd make your head spin.
Isn't that interesting?
It's unfair.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably a podcast for that a whole thing.
Well, there's a misogyny in it, but
there might be.
Definitely. But it depends on the morality.
You may tell you the chances I would think of either of that happening ever.
It doesn't matter.
0.0000000.
But it doesn't matter. The fact is that trust was the point.
It is trust.
Trust is the thing that binds us. And when we lose it, it is so hard to get and so easy to lose.
It's true.
And so when that is gone, you cannot relate to that person in safety anymore.
That's right.
And when you don't feel safe in your home, when you don't feel safe that your life path is actually a team working towards a common goal, at that point there, it becomes very difficult to see how you can manage your future without having to do it on your own. So the trust is the biggest thing. So now you've met her. How did you meet?
Let me comment on one thing you just said in a good way.
Yeah.
Reinforce it. I would say the way that I would simplify that in one sentence is when someone cheats on someone else or a divorce happens, the fabric of the entire reality of your life gets just torn to pieces.
Oh, yeah. Your identity gets torn to pieces.
Because if you can't trust your girl, you can't trust nothing.
Well, that, and you also can't trust yourself either.
That's exactly right.
Right. So you met her a year later. Where? In a bar?
It was like a nightclub bar. It was like there's food, but it wasn't quite like
was
massive.
Was she stripping?
No. My wife was actually relatively conservative for a Finnish girl.
What was she doing for a living?
So she was moving the glass cups at the restaurant, and she was doing that, and she was only there because
she was an entertainer.
She was sick. No, well, I guess kind of, because she's hot. So like they're hired because you're hot, but she's actually just moving cups.
Cups.
She's like I don't want to say bust girl.
A bus girl.
Kind of. She's hot. Like she's a hot worker.
She cleans the table.
She's a hot.
Lowly, clean the table girl, and you're Mr.
I don't think my wife has never been.
Player.
My wife's never been lonely anything in her whole life.
But the status that she was at in that moment was she was just at the lowest. She wasn't even a waitress.
So
she was cleaning tables. So she's cleaning tables.
No.
What was the job?
When I didn't know she was even working.
But what was her job?
I don't know, but I found that later.
She
was
worked
like,
at a bar.
yes.
She wasn't a waitress. She was cleaning the tables.
Yeah, taking the
Okay.
cups.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're big Mr. Football hero and
Yep.
big football star, and having all the women in the world. What was about this woman that attracted you? That she'd be a quick lay?
No.
That she'd be easy to pick up because she had probably had low self-confidence because she didn't have a high-paying, executive position or a huge amount of education.
Nope.
What was your motivation there, buddy?
So none of that was there because I didn't even know she was working there really, because she came up to me and said, blah, 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 in Finnish. And I said, well, they're terrible. I don't speak Finnish. I'm American. And she goes, you look so familiar. And I laughed at her. I said, I've used that line with like 5 girls tonight. I didn't know she was a waiter, but she started talking to me. But she's charming and she's witty and she's cute. Yeah. But I didn't know if I thought she was pretty.
Was she 13?
Oh, no, she's the exact same my age.
Okay, good.
No, she was witty and cute. And I mean, she wasn't ugly or anything, but she was so divinely unique that I'd never seen a girl like that.
Got it. But
so
you were still a dog at this point.
A total dog. I think I slept with a girl that night. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now you've met this beautiful woman. You didn't know right then that she would be your soulmate. But you had
idea. Well,
there was
weird.
something
It was a weird moment.
There was a connection.
If I'm honest, I've never said this, I think, ever in my life to anyone. Super weird moment when I looked at her and I remember thinking like, like maybe in 1,000 universes we met. Because I don't want to sound cheesy at the risk of sounding cheesy.
There was a definite connection.
Her
but
eyes,
you were Mr.
Oh God,
Dog.
I've never said this on any interviews, but her freaking eyes. Those big green, beautiful things are like, then they.
What, isn't that common in Sweden and Norway?
No, they're blue.
Finland?
They're blonde hair, blue eyes. They're blonde blues. And those blonde blues are hot too. Like, don't get me twisted. Don't get twisted. But
and she was tall.
Tall, brunette, and she had a cute accent. And, but I didn't know.
Did she know you were a football player?
No. But I mean,
did she know anything about you?
Nope.
Okay.
She just said.
So you're just another dog in the bar that she's trying to pick her up.
But no, she hit on me. She came up to me.
Right, but this girl's probably, because she's an attractive girl, she's in a bar, guys are hitting on her all the time. So why'd she even talk to you?
She, to this day, if I believe it or not, it's a different story. To this day, she says she believes she knew me.
So there was a...
Maloney, I had cornrows. I had cornrows. She didn't feel that. But
so there was a deep connection.
She swears.
There was a deep connection immediately.
I would say maybe, in the scheme of the universe, she
almost
swore,
like a soulful connection.
Probably that's something. But she really felt like she knew me.
So almost like when this guy said, I want you to go to Finland, you were drawn there by this woman.
It could be. But the counterfeit always comes before the real. And like, don't get me wrong. If the girl that I was in love with before my wife sees this interview, I don't mean that she's counterfeit. She's a beautiful child of God. She's beautiful and she's awesome and whatever. But the counterfeit in life always comes before the real.
Yeah, but you were creating the counterfeit because you were just a pig.
That's right. Of course I was. I was doing the worst sin ever,
because the fact is that you decided a long time ago you didn't have any respect for women. They were just to be used.
No,
you did.
I promise. No.
That was your childhood. That was your.
This will make for a good interview, but no.
The fact is that your behavior.
And I'm not trying to be contrarian. This is the most contrarian interview I've ever done.
How many one-night stands did you have?
Oh, all of them.
Right. How is that respectful to women?
No.
Did you call them all the next day and say, listen,
your context, I believe if we go back and rewind this, you said, because your whole life all women. No. I was a Prince Charming. Every girl I ever dated fell madly in love with me, told me they were going to marry me. Right. And I loved them back.
No, you didn't.
I promise I did.
No, your definition of a 17-year-old's love does not count for the man that you are today.
But you're basing your opinion on love on your opinion of love.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about how you talked about how you love your wife.
Of course.
It's a different love.
Of course it is.
Do you love your children the way that you love those girls from one night?
No. But
do you love your wife the way that you love those girls?
I want you to understand the pattern of I always, when I was in high school.
How about you just take a minute now and just consider this possibility?
Okay, let's go ahead.
That somehow you got trained that women were to be used and you were a god and that was just the fucking role in life and that's how it went.
I would say the opposite, and I'm not trying to be combative.
Oh, they were using you.
I was trying to make every girl, and I was trying to make every girl
feel
the
special.
One so I could justify my selfishness of having sex with them. That's the truth.
That's a really well put. That actually, I say that again because I really want to be clear. You wanted to justify your selfishness.
I wanted to, no, not my selfishness.
Selfishness.
No, because at the time, if you asked me if I
wanted to be serviced. You wanted to be feel the pleasure.
That's not kind of, but no. because I genuinely, in my heart, felt I loved my high school sweetheart. And if we're honest, on an interview, you want the most honest interview of your life?
Sure.
I would say that there's part of me that still has love for my high school sweetheart.
Of course you would.
But that has nothing to do.
No.
It doesn't counter
you
what.
were 14?
No. I was 16, 17, 18.
When you met her.
But hold up. 16, 17, 18,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
I was still like leading that girl on the day I met Jonna.
I believe it.
That girl, I drug her on for years unfairly.
Well, look, your brain wasn't fully developed yet.
That's
okay?
right.
So
now that I agree with. I was.
the
my other one was
your first. Yeah, the first love is very painful. It's very.
I say
deep
a guy
in it.
will deeply sob for one chick in this life.
So you treated a lot of women with disrespect. Simply as that. Okay.
No, well, I treated.
None
I'll tell
of you did.
You go ask the girls. They will say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I would say
you can justify it any way
I
you
treated
like.
them incredible with respect, and I always
But you didn't
asked
want
for
them again.
But no, what happened was I loved myself more than them.
Right.
I love the girls, but I love myself more than them.
Right.
Which is the opposite.
And you don't see that that's disrespectful to other human beings.
Oh, well,
when
I'll tell you
bring
this.
somebody into your world intimately and you make them feel like they matter, and then you don't bother with them again because you're looking for the next one.
But I was never looking for the next one.
But you were.
Whenever I loved myself more than the situation.
Yeah. You don't think this is just bullshit justification? Because you were a sex addict.
For sure, and a sex addict. Yes.
All right.
But I wasn't.
You were using women.
But I wasn't.
To feed your addiction.
No doubt. But I wasn't having sex with any girls.
And you still can't see that it was disrespectful.
Of course, it's disrespectful.
Thank you.
No, but disrespectful.
But then you changed.
No, but the premise of you saying it was disrespectful was a little off.
Not really. I wanted it to come to the context of now you suddenly felt like you weren't even worthy of this woman. And that's where the soulful connection shifted you. There was a moment where suddenly you met a woman that you actually wondered if you were worthy enough for her. And that's why she is the queen in your world.
Maybe, but I had sex with like 4 other girls while I knew her.
Doesn't matter.
At the beginning, like when I first met her.
Doesn't matter. You weren't ready yet for her.
Yeah.
But you just described a relationship that very few people will ever experience.
Yes, I did.
You don't get that from a place of selfishness. You don't get that from a place of disrespect. And you don't get that just because you showed up one night. You earned that. You had to earn her respect. And you had to earn your own respect in that relationship. And the two of you did this and created something that I'm dying to hear more about, how you have done this, because I can tell you 90% of the people listening right now have no fucking idea how to do it. They've never experienced it.
I understand. Yeah.
Look, man, I'm 60 years old, and I bet you I fucked more women than you did. You think you fucked a lot of chicks.
I
was into the
all
hundreds.
of mine.
I was into
I'm not
the
proud
hundreds.
Of them. I got you.
Okay? But I was a radio announcer.
I got it.
I was a bit of a celebrity.
Yeah.
So I got, believe me, there was access.
I get that.
But, you know, and by the way, I didn't always look like a fat fuck. I literally had a very nice body, and I was a very handsome young man, and I can show you pictures. Plus, I got more game than you probably did. You're a smart guy, and you got some game.
I would say you're
But
probably,
I had some serious game.
I'd say you're probably right, because I wasn't just being a hound.
I was.
I was loving girls for a year at a time.
I was loving them a night at a time.
In my mind, I was justifying it, which was what made me, at the end, made me, but those girls felt loved and respected the whole time.
Yeah, but you didn't allow the intimacy to become real.
No, but that's where I think I lived in those, I compartmentalized. Like when I got on an airplane and flew to Finland, that relationship was on pause. Until I go back. And when it turned back on, when I got back, that girl treated better than any man will ever treat them. And I ruined women. I hurt women. I regret it. No, I regret it from this. I'm not saying I was a good dude. I regretted.
Both of us can say the same fucking thing. Listen to me.
Of course.
This is the first time I've heard another man honest enough to look back at the way we treated women in our youth and recognize the devastation we left behind us.
Oh, I totally recognize the devastation.
Suffering, the lack of confidence, the lack of trust that we created. We created that damage to a lot of it. We traumatized a lot of these women, and we need to take responsibility for that.
Well, and the thing is, like, I've dedicated my life to being responsible now with my girl.
Yeah. And your children.
That's right, because I know it's going to represent
them. You will never let a guy like you used to be date your daughter.
That's the hard part. Is if my daughter dated a guy like me, I would totally be happy. That's the crazy part. I'm saying,
no, hang on.
Those girls because you can't know the ending when the start. I love those girls, and like in my own way, like as much as I thought, like every girl I've ever.
You don't love them the way you love this woman.
Of course not. I'm not making that comparison.
So let's not use the same word.
Okay, and there's a bunch of types of love.
Let's know.
In other languages,
come on,
gune. Come on, you can speak
look,
like
you want to play
Aramaic.
agape love?
I'm not agape,
look,
gune.
Let's not play the bullshit. How about this?
Yes.
How about this? This relationship is love. Because love has one definition.
Agreed. Love is patient, love is kind, love is... Yes, go ahead.
The only synonym for love that I've ever found, and maybe you can look yourself and agree or disagree, but there's one word in the English language that I believe is synonymous to love, and it's the only way I can understand love. It's accept. Without acceptance, you know why? Because you cannot love something that you do not accept. If a dog is a dog and you want it to be a cat, you don't accept that it's a dog. You cannot love it as a dog. The woman who she is, as she is, how she looks, how she expresses herself, how she occurs in the world, how she experiences you and how you get to experience her in reality, that is the reality of who and what she is. And if you can't accept that, then you can say I love you, but you don't mean it.
But I'm not making the comparison that the love I have with my wife is the love I had with those girls.
Well, how about use a different word?
I mean, if there was a lot of words in the English language, we could
you had a lot of lust.
That's why I said a goomba. But you asked, your statement was, if I would be happy if a guy like me dated my daughter. And the answer is, I would, because I always treated the girls with respect. I always went into a relationship with the possibility of marrying that girl.
Right, but how did the girl feel?
Wonderful.
No.
Girls always at the end said, I'm going to marry this guy.
Okay, but when you left, how did they feel?
Hearts.
So that's what you want for your daughter?
That's not, but you can't make that comparison. It's not true.
But no, I'm
you
saying
asked
to you,
you
had
said
a guy.
if I was the kind of guy. And the answer is, I would like the kind of guy. I wouldn't like the outcome. But like you have to remember, these are love stories.
But the outcome is what you're going to live with because that's your daughter.
No, but you have to understand.
So how would you advise her against that?
Well, that would be the same thing. Like Jonna, once upon a time, was a girl that I loved intently and passionately, and that evolved into something real. And I would say amazing and the most incredible relationship. But I always went into relationships. That was my problem. I went into relationships with genuine, authentic. I want to treat this girl like the best girl in the whole world.
As long as she fucked you.
Not at the beginning.
As long as she fucked you. Otherwise,
context.
Come on. There's always it was conditional.
I would say this, yes, because at the beginning, no. With the first girls, it was like, man, I really want to care. I want to, whatever.
You want to be the good guy.
Of course, I want to be the good guy but I'm selfishly justifying through my actions of being a really good boy.
Discovering that you were a handsome man that girls wanted. Well, and now suddenly you were also a football
hero. You can't say girls because I'm telling you, sections of my life where it's one girl, that was over.
Got it.
One girl, that was over.
Got it.
But I never had probably a week where I was single. Because I had the pick of the litter because of whatever.
Look, you're not the average kid in high school.
Right.
Okay? You were literally the fucking out of the high school boys.
The generic was the homecoming king as well. Yes.
Right.
Yes, of course. I know what you're saying.
So all the girls are looking like, I want that man. I want him to love me. And
don't ever forget, I was also wild and nuts. So it wasn't maybe not all girls thought that way.
You had a bit of an artificial reality as to what it was to be a young man. And then you got propped up by it by women. So you kind of felt justified in your behavior and it just kept coming. It's like you were a celebrity.
Yeah, and it's my big mistake in life. Like I've never been proud a second of it. I feel like I hurt these women.
You got a son too, don't you?
I do. And I feel like I hurt these women you did. And my whole life. Of course I hurt them. There was a girl,
so did I.
I got a call from this chick. Years later, one of her best friends said, you know that girl's never dated anyone since you?
Wow.
In her late 30s? Never.
So would you want your son to be the kind of man you were?
Let me ask. Let me think about that.
Go ahead. Because I know I don't.
The kind of man I was in general, yes. I did not want him to have the same outcome that I had with a certain vice.
You don't want your son to live in that false reality of this praise and being put up in a pedestal.
I do. I know. I totally wanted to because it gives him confidence. Because energy creates energy.
That doesn't give him confidence. He either creates his own confidence.
The act of sex does not, and the act of doing bad things doesn't.
And a lot of that is artificial.
I want my son to win all the way through his life. And so for the record,
Right.
I want my son to be
But he
a
also
baller. I want him to have
I get
swagger.
it, but you want him to recognize
sure.
what's real and what isn't.
Of course, that's life. That's our unwinding of this crazy complex thing called life.
No, I got it. Dude, we have a lot more to talk about.
I think we do.
And I love that you're honest.
Well, if there's one thing, I'm authentic.
Yeah, but you didn't shy away.
I'm not shy about that. Hey, this is my most important things in my life. My son, I hope that I can become the man that he grows into and wants to be like me. So like you ask,
better than you.
Way better than me.
Yeah.
Like, of course I want my son to be like me because I did a pretty good job in certain things and it made me feel good. But I want him to be way better than me.
We're going to talk about what your accomplishments
I tell my daughter it's 100 times, dude, don't like guys are scumbags. Like, I'll give you the analogy. I think guys are like a seed that their whole life they got to grow and produce fruit.
Yeah.
And girls are like a garden.
Yeah.
They got to preserve their fruit.
Got it.
And I don't care. People say it's chauvinistic. It's called reality.
No. I got it. Listen, I obviously need to jump ahead and then get into, the current situation in your life, what you're involved with and everything, but we're not going to have time today.
Okay, cool.
Do you promise me that we can complete this?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Under the caveat that my wife doesn't murder me tonight because I disclose so much.
She won't.
Caveat. Okay.
This is a woman I'm sure is moved by the fact that you revealed your honesty about yourself.
Well, but here's the cool part. My girl knows everything I just said.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Every single thing that I say.
You're fully aware that she was sitting right there and you didn't hide.
The reason my girl and I have the relationship that we do is because she knows exactly the truth.
I got it.
Because there is I became a better guy.
Yeah.
I got a better gal.
Yeah, and she's made you a better you.
Of course.
She completes you.
She's, like Bible, they say, two become one flesh. We're literally one flesh.
She completes you.
She completes you.
You had me at hello.
Yeah. No, she had me.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I got my next guest coming in right now.
No worries, yeah.
But you and I are going to complete this. We've got at least 3 more conversations because there's so much to unpack here.
Yes,
so much.
Okay.